everyone. Welcome back to Black on the Platform Live, where we spotlight Black entrepreneurs, authors, and leaders who are moving the culture forward and making wellness, wealth, and wisdom more accessible to our communities. I'm your host, Jen S., founder of Black on the Platform, your go to directory and community for Black businesses. If it's your first time joining us, please drop your name in the chat and tell us where you're tapping in from. This is my favorite part where I get to see who's here. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We see you, we appreciate you, and we're so glad you're part of this movement. Who do we have with us today? Hi, LaTisha. Welcome. Thank you. I have to take a moment to honor this community who has been so supportive as we have taken this journey of building this ecosystem for our community. I see you, Terry. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome, Chef Nadia Dennison. Welcome. And we have, oh, Time. For some reason, I thought you would be not able to join. I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you, Errol. You know, we have to represent. This is Los Angeles. We got to put some beats in there, right? I love that you recognize my little intro. Yes, yes. Well, welcome, family. I am so happy to have you here. And as you come in, please drop in your name, where you're tapping in from. We have people across our nation, from Florida to the Carolinas to Virginia to Los Angeles. So please let us know where you're tuning in from. And I am so excited. I was so concerned that we were going to have an issue with the connectivity because it's pouring raining out in Los Angeles. I know. It's hard to believe that it's not always sunshine and beautiful weather, but yeah, it's actually really, really wet out here. So um, bear with us if we have any connectivity issues today. And let's get started. So today, we are joined by someone whose hands do more than heal, they glorify. With over 30 years of caregiving experience, 13 years as an LVN, and a heart led mission to restore dignity in healthcare, LaTisha Carter is a trailblazer in this space. She is the founder of Glorified Hands Industries, a caregiving and staffing agency built on compassion, clinical excellence, and calling. From hospitals to homes, LaTisha's impact is deeply felt across California, where she's been staffing with integrity and caring with purpose. But this moment is extra special because, full disclosure, LaTisha is my cousin. That means I have had a front row seat to her journey, her heart, and her hustle for years, watching her pour into others, lead with love, and still making room to uplift the next generation. It's nothing short of inspiring. She's not just doing the work, she's teaching, leading, and setting a whole new standard in caregiving. So I have my family in the chat, my B1 family. I see you. Hey, Mia. I have my FFS sisters, the Fierce and Fearless Sisterhood, representing in the chat. We have our BBS B1 family. We have our option trading family. And um, oh, I see. Hello, cousin. B1 is in the house. Yes. And so this family is going to be blending with my own Johnson family. So if we do have some family from the Johnson family, please represent in the chat. And I learned yesterday on Natasha says, I want some of that rain. Um, I learned yesterday on Mia's live, because Mia does her live on Wednesdays at the same time. And we realized that you can be on YouTube in the chat, but not all see each other comment. So hopefully I'm able to see. I do see my cousin Gloria. Welcome, cousin. Okay, Chef Nadia's in Los Angeles. Awesome. I love it. Yes, please represent. And we said, okay, Natasha, we're all up in here. Yes, B1, FFS, the Johnsons. I'm loving it. I'm really excited. So I have to give you guys a little bit of background before I bring in, hey, Kat, there's my cousin Kathy. Okay, so before I bring on the wonderful guest for today, I want to make sure that I set the stage. So I recently had the honor of joining LaTisha's Glorified Hands Nursing Nurse Network meeting. And let me tell you all, witnessing her in that space as a leader, a mentor, and an advocate was really powerful. It wasn't just a meeting, it was a masterclass in heart centered leadership. The care and sincerity that she brings to her work, it's not just a job, it's a calling. And being in education myself, I can really say that being an educator was a calling for me. And she is very humble, so she doesn't say that she's a teacher, but she is a support provider to a community of nurses who have otherwise not necessarily had that opportunity and guidance. And I've seen firsthand from her mentees that they it changed their practice, and they are better because of the influence and the work that she's done. um, I see how she pours into the healthcare professionals, and not just professionally but personally, just like we're doing here, building this community, this ecosystem for Black business owners to shine and be visible, gain some visibility. She's building a community of caregivers who are seen, supported, and spiritually fed. And that's rare, especially in healthcare. So, viewers, I wanted to start today's edition a little differently before we bring her in. And I want us to take a moment and pause for a moment of reflection. Let's do some critical thinking together. What are your experiences navigating the healthcare system as a patient, as a caregiver, or for a loved one? What are some questions or concerns you've had when it comes to your own care, your self care, or the care of our elders? And let's see, we have, I'm about to, there we go. Yeah, so, okay, see, that's what I was talking about, Natasha. Sometimes people can't, um, they can't put it in the chat. That's okay. Maybe you can tell us what she says. Hey, nephew, I see you. I see you there. Jamard, welcome. Yeah, I want you guys to be critical thinkers and think about, at some point we're all going to have be faced with senior living. Um, what do you wish you understood better or had more support with? So I want you to drop your thoughts in the chat and let me know where your head is at. Okay, I like this, Natasha. Thank you for getting us started, sis. Okay. So, okay, I see some up here. So let me start with T-May. T-May says finding trustworthy caregivers with dignity, right? Absolutely. That especially with our loved ones, being able to find somebody that we can trust. Jamard, why does medication cost so much? Why is big pharma bleeding us dry? I'm with you, nephew. I am with you. Natasha says racial bias and lack of genuine care. And I see cousins in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mia. Thank you. Terry says we are in need of more patient and compassionate caregivers like LaTisha, and that is so true. Okay, so I did not know that, Tasha. You wanted to be a nurse before I got a job at a hospital and saw what can happen behind the scenes when it comes to patients. All right. Well, without further ado, all of these questions, now that I got your juices going and you have critical thinking, I'm going to bring LaTisha forward to the front. She's been in the green room waiting for her big grant. reveal. And so I would love for you all to please welcome. And let me get my right thing here. Okay, here we go. All right. Welcome, LaTisha. How are you today? Make sure I can hear you. Okay.
Hello, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I am well. I am so happy to have you here today. Let me put you side by side with me. Okay, there we go. So, you have been a big trailblazer in the community of caregiving. And so, let's start with Glorified Hands Industries. What inspired you to start?
What inspired me to start Glorified Hands is I worked for several home health agencies after graduating with my nursing license. The things that I saw made me uneasy. I started a lot of agencies and quit very shortly after because the morals that I saw didn't match what I joined this profession to do. A lot of it is all about the money and not about the care. And for me, it's the opposite. It's about the care. And of course, we all need to live and survive, but I believe the care will bring on the money. But some of these agencies, all they're there for is just they're numbers. The patients are just numbers. They're not people. They're not members. They're not even really patients. They're just numbers on a paper. They don't know anything about them. They'll send you into the homes without much information and expect you to pull off a miracle. And so I
And
decided to change that.
I love that. And my sister Terry here says facts. I know she's been dealing with taking care of her mother and has seen that treatment firsthand. And so, myself being in education, I've often felt, not even as the teacher role, but as a student, like we were just numbers in this big university. And I think it's the same type of feeling when you're describing it as from the patient. They're like not given the same humanity. So you've worked across nearly every healthcare setting, from hospice to schools, and even as a nurse instructor. How does that shape the kind of care your agency delivers?
I think it had a lot to do with it. At one point in time, I thought it was something wrong with me going into so many different areas of nursing, switching jobs. But my best friend brought it to my attention. She said that was something that God had me to do so I can understand each role. I can go from being an instructor to dealing with children. I've had a various uh, spectrum of patients. So by
Hmm.
me being able to be in all those different parts of it, it makes it a lot easier for me to bring my agency to a place that it needs to be, which
And it
is it all stems down to compassion.
Yes, it sounds like compassion and empathy played a huge role in your ability to create the agency. And so, how do you ensure that families and patients feel seen, respected, and safe under your care, knowing what you know and having that lens?
I call them members, and I make them feel a part of every step of the way. When we go into the homes, we do a meet and greet. In that allows them a time to get to know the caregiver on a one-on-one basis. I'm not just going to drop someone in someone's home and be like, okay, this is who's going to care for you. No, I need to know it's a fit. I need to know that the caregiver fits the member and the member fits the caregiver. That's how we work it out. That's how everybody gets what they need.
I love that. It sounds like it's deeply rooted in relationships. And I think that is where the trust begins. When you have established relationships between the patient and the caregiver, then you can feel that your loved one is in a trusted environment and going to get the best care. I love that. And in the chat, I see some comments. Natasha says, as melanated people, we need to have our own medical care for our biological and physiological needs. They treat us as if we're white, and that's not good for us. I agree, Natasha. And a lot of
I absolutely.
you agree as well. And I just want you to know we have cousins in the chat, cousin Gloria, cousin Kathy, cousin Jamard, my nephew. They're all saying what's up, Cuzzo. So I just wanted you to see that. Um,
Hello, everyone.
and let me see. Myrna says, you saw all the facets of caregiving in order to know what you needed to bring to the profession. I applaud you. Absolutely. We
Thank
applaud you,
you.
LaTisha. And
Thank
the greatness doesn't stop there because you wrote a book for LVNs. Tell us about clinical confidence and what inspired it.
you. Critical confidence was inspired from me being an instructor. I was able to see firsthand how it goes. Also been a student. Nowadays, the nurse students are given so much information. It's like because we only have a certain amount of time to give them everything that the board thinks that we need to give them. But it doesn't allow us enough time to actually show them how to use the information. So I have students that have graduated as nurses because I keep in contact with my students. And I had them contact me and say, Miss Carter, I don't understand this. This is not what we had in school. So even with me trying to, I was the clinical instructor, even with me taking them into the field and giving them what I knew would be the difference, I was still held by the politics of the school where I couldn't
Right.
really give them everything. So I saw the gap. So I was sitting at home healing from my surgery, and it just kept going over and over in my mind. And I said, okay, how can I fill this gap? Because I had multiple students call me, and it just clicked. Give them something that will build up their confidence, and building up their confidence, it will open up, broaden up their thought process to allow them to be able to go in there and do what they need to do. So it's just a book about everyday case scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And I, from the beginning of life to the end of life, COPD, diabetes, you name it, it's in there. And the
Love
case
it.
scenarios allows them to look at this scenario, pull out the information that's important, digest it, and realize what they need to do with it. What are their roles in it? How do they play a part? What steps do they need to take to assure this patient is okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a student, I gave it to her first. She just had received her green light, is what they call it, to take her nurse license test. And she was really nervous. So when she took it, she read the book, she did the workbook, and she called me and said that it helped her tremendously. She was confident. She see what she was overlooking and overthinking, and she passed on the first try. So I have had success stories come back saying that it did
Yes.
help.
I love that. And I have seen some of those success stories firsthand. So I can I can testify to that. If our viewing audience would drop in the chat, tag a nurse, a caregiver, or a healthcare hero you appreciate today, and just give them a shout out. Um, that would be a one way of showing your appreciation to those phenomenal nurses and caregivers who have shown you compassion and humanity. So I'm inspired, LaTisha. You're running a company, you're writing books, you are teaching. I know you don't call it teaching, you're supporting, and you're still pursuing your degree. How do you stay grounded and focused with so much on your plate?
I only have one
I
name, God.
I know it.
It's all God. It's not me. If it was me doing this, I would have jumped off a cliff a long time ago.
Yeah,
Because it's been a lot of ups and downs, trials and tribulations, but me learning how to put God first opened up the path for him to lead me and guide me in where I should go.
it's beautiful. And I've been at your networking meetings where I've heard you say this isn't like other places, I'm going to honor God in the work I do, and I'm going to make sure that I'm a vessel of his will. And I admire that. And I know that our grandfather, Reverend Arnold Johnson, would be very, very proud of the role that you're playing with these families and people in need. So thank you. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about home health care and staffing agencies?
They're not all alike. And it's been so many that have made a bad name for us that it scares families. I heard someone say, especially with our ethnicity,
Hmm.
we don't have a lot of people that care for us how we should be cared for. So, with that being said, it makes it kind of challenging for people to trust me to give me the open door to say, okay, we're going to give you a try. Because it's been a lot of bad things going on. People have experienced some really bad things. I've seen them, and
Right.
I understand it, but I just wanted to make sure to offer us a chance.
Hmm.
Everybody else have their agencies that bend over backward for them, but when it comes to us, they give us the bare minimum. They treat us like we're not important, or they can just tell us anything and we'll fall for it.
Right.
And I think that's what's made it bad out here for all of us. The ones that are coming, that's trying to do the right thing, it's just like anything else.
You get a bad
We
name.
experience so much bad stuff. When the right ones come, it's challenging. We don't
Hmm.
know how to accept it. We don't
Right.
know how to appreciate it, acknowledge it, and sometimes we do without when we don't have to.
Mm. Mm. And puts us further into survival and suffering mode when we shouldn't have to be there and we have people who can help. And so I agree. Natasha says, that's why we need our own. And I feel like my role and my calling is to help create a space where we can bring visibility and awareness that there are places like Glorified Hands Industries. There are people who are compassionate and genuinely care about our well-being, and you are doing the work. And so thank you. And I'm curious, has there been any like pivotal lessons or mentors who've helped you place you into this role as a leader and as a person who is really doing the work?
Some of my instructors, if it wasn't for a couple, a few of them, I wouldn't be sitting before you right now as the person I am, doing what I do. Um, I would like to give a shout out. One of my instructors, his name is Mr. Turner. I had a Dr. Stevenson, a Miss Moore. They play very vital roles in me getting through my nursing career. They pushed me when I wanted to give up. I even had one tell me if I didn't come to school, she was going to knock on my door just to make sure I came to school. So, just that kind of motivation and love, it brought
Yes.
me to a place. And then, of course, I have family members, and I had a best friend, he passed away, that really pushed me and motivated me. Even today, I have people in my life that push me to continue my education. Because sometimes I start like, well, I don't know. It's not really going the way I think it should. But it turns around, so I'm glad that I have these people behind me that keeps pushing me and won't let me give up.
And I'm one of those cheerleaders right behind you. Like, come on,
Yes,
Tisha,
ma'am.
you could do it. Go, go.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
and and it does take sometimes a little bit of encouragement and vision. People sometimes see in us what we don't see in ourselves, and just knowing that you have the support of your family and your friends, it does make a difference. It does. So um yeah, I'm really inspired the fact that you are running your business. You're a mom. You're you're doing a lot. You're a grandmother. I watch you in action, and you're restoring for people trust in caregiving, and you're raising a family. And I think that you're doing an amazing job, and I commend you for that. So let's dig a little deeper. What is your vision for Glorified Hands in the next 5 years? I know you're already juggling quite a bit. What do you foresee in the future?
Um, Being able to be in more homes, offering compassion, love, quality of care to more families, opening, and I'm not going to just say one, opening facilities
Come on now.
that offer the same, where families can feel safe. Some of these skilled nursing facilities, I understand the reason why the doubt is there. I've seen it, I worked in it.
Mhm.
So to offer places, that facilities that are not just like a hospital, but more of a home setting. Um,
I love that. And
Continuing the training programs
for
for
those
nurses.
people who do not know the intricacies of Black on the Platform, what we have here in order to be part of the YouTube spotlight is being part of the Power Networking team. And LaTisha is one of our members in the Power Networking team. And I've been working to connect her with one of my sisters in the Fierce and Fearless Sisterhood who is interested in creating one of those facilities. So I, in my crystal ball, see great things for that partnership and hope that, that is one of many facilities to come. And I look forward to that. And I also have to share that Cousin Gloria said, Auntie Dorothy is on the call. And that's an answer to my prayer, cousin, because um,
Oh,
yes, So we're not
see?
going to cry right now, Tish. We're not going to cry,
No,
but
no, no.
but I literally was trying to get ready and I was like, can I call her and have her on my phone? Because I was worried the technical aspect might frustrate her and I didn't want her to be calling while the show was happening. So I'm so excited that Auntie Dorothy is on the call listening in. That is awesome.
Yes,
And Natasha says, speak it into existence, right? We're manifesting it right here. The partnership
yes,
between
ma'am.
my sister Leilani and my cousin LaTisha. And uh, cousin Kat says, I see you having many, many support systems. I love it.
Thank you.
And my nephew, your cousin Jamard, wants to know what you're willing to do is more important. Here, let me put it on the screen. What you're willing to do is more important than what you're capable of doing. I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing because it's needed as well as inspiring. I love that. And I have to
Thank
tell you, Jamard,
you. I love that.
right? Let me be quiet so you can say your thanks to him.
I thank
Um,
you so much, and you are a very big inspiration to me as well. I've watched you expand and grow, and you help motivate me to want to continue. So thank you.
yes, yes. And I literally was talking you up today, nephew, with one of my colleagues who is going out to Houston for her vacation to spend with family. And I shared your listing on Black on the Platform. And I was like, we got people in H Town, we Southeast Texas on the map. And I was just speaking on how you speak with students and how you're a motivational speaker yourself. And I follow you on IG as well. So Tisha is not alone in the gratitude for what you're doing, Jamard. Keep doing what you're doing. Um,
Yes,
so
sir.
I could go on and on about how wonderful the Johnson family is. But today we are here to spotlight you, Letitia. So what is it you want families to know about choosing care for their loved ones? What would be the tips that you could give them when they're selecting caregivers for their loved ones?
Just make sure to be your family member's advocate. Ask questions. See how they operate, because they will sell you a dream. They will, because they want your case. But make sure they stay up on everything they say they're going to do. Ask what pharmacy they use. Ask what doctors they use. Ask how often do the nurses come out. Do they have a 24-hour line that you can get in contact with? You know, ask how long are their services guaranteed. Those are the things you need to know, because in a minute they'll tell you, oh, we don't have anyone to come in today. So then what do you do? That's not your responsibility. That's theirs. They took your
Right.
case. They said yes. So it's up to them to get someone there.
Mhm.
And a
It
lot of them, they get these cases because they know the case managers in the hospital. Not because they're good,
right.
because of who they know.
Mhm. Right. And you're basically advocating that we expect a level of professionalism for our loved ones, that
Yeah.
we're not just taking the okey doke and saying, okay, well, we have no other option, we have no other choice. We have to really advocate for our loved ones and make sure that they're getting the professional services that they promised when you contracted with them and said, yes, we'll take you on. I love that. I love that. Um, So, and we have agreement in the chat, um, that it's important to advocate. Natasha says, know what's in those medications and how it affects your whole body. So, do you talk to your patients about the type of medicines they're taking, or what side effects or things that they need to be aware of when when administering medication?
Yes, I do medication management.
I love
I
that.
want them to know what it is. I want them to know why they taking it. Um, I've seen so many cases where, let's talk about blood pressure medicine. I've had patients that just taking blood pressure medicine left and right. And then I go in the home and I say, do you have a blood pressure machine? They're like, no. I said, then how are you taking this medicine? Because no one in the doctor's office told them to take their blood pressure before they take the medicine.
Hmm.
So if your blood pressure is already low and you're taking a blood pressure medicine, you're going to bottom out. I had one patient, she told me, every time I take my medicine, I get really dizzy and I have to go lay down. Come to find out, she wasn't taking her blood pressure. So I
Hmm.
had extra blood pressure cuff in my bag. I said, this is for you. I need you to take it every time before you take your medicine. If it's in this range, 120/80, or at least I told her, if it's 110/70, do not take that medicine, because it's easy to drop and it's hard to come back up, especially
Hmm.
when you're elderly and you're by yourself.
Right.
So I gave her a parameter and I had her write her blood pressure medicine down. But when she first started taking it, I had her call me, tell me what it is. Let's go over it. And then she got used to it. And then I felt comfortable. Okay, you got it now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Building
they
that
just tell you
habit.
take it, and that's, yes, and the elderly, if the doctors say take it, they're gonna take it because that's who they trust.
Hmm.
And they
Absolutely.
don't even know why. They're just taking it because my doctor said take it. But that's not always the case.
Well, speaking of trust, I put my healthcare trust in your hands. I was feeling dizzy at work, and you made me go to my school nurse and go get the cuff and get my blood pressure taken and make sure that I'm okay. And sometimes we don't know what to do. We're not skilled in that area. And so that made me feel a lot better, being able to take my blood pressure and know what to eliminate, what did I eat that day, what hadn't I eaten. And so just I appreciate your nursing care with me as well. So I just had to share that as one of my testimonies to the compassion and love that you bring.
I'm glad I was on the phone with you that day.
Me too. Me too. I was like, okay, I'll go. And then I went, and there was something where they had to lock it down and I had to come back. And so I didn't give up. I followed your instructions. I was obedient. So you've talked about, being led by purpose and being inspired by God and in every step. How has your faith shaped the way you lead and serve?
Hmm. Ooh, that's a good question.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Um, it's been everything. When I was shaky in my faith, I did not have the goal that I have now. As I grow stronger in God and my faith and learning who He is and the purpose He has on my life, is giving me the strength, is giving me the confidence, the boldness to move forward. For a
Hmm.
while, I was stuck. I felt like, oh, I'm just gonna work in the facilities and try to find a job where I can be there for years and years. And that's not what He created me for.
Mm-mm.
He
Mm-mm.
created me to be somebody that helps in all avenues. Um, I was just speaking to my sister Nadia today. It's almost like he told me you're an influencer of healthcare, and it's different for me because I've been on the other side. I've been the patient. A lot of these people in this profession have never laid in a hospital bed, have never needed someone to help them like that. I have. And I know what it is to have someone that comes in your room and really could care less about you, because that's what the doctor did to me when he told me I had cancer. You have cancer. Show me the picture, and walked out the room.
Mm,
It was
mm-mm.
the nurse that stood beside me and said, breathe. We're going to get through this.
Mm.
Her compassion was so heartfelt. And that's what I want to offer. When someone is going through something, especially an illness or something that's taking away their independence, they want comfort. They want
Right.
compassion. They want to
Yes.
know the person that's standing in front of them actually cares. And you're not just standing there to get a paycheck. You're there because you want to be there, not because you need to be there, not because you want the check, you think you look good in scrubs. That's irrelevant.
Right.
We have so many of those people.
Right.
So even as an instructor, I try to make a difference, teach my students how to be the nurse that we need.
So, what would you say to the next generation of healthcare workers, especially young Black women who are considering this field? What would be your advice to them in that respect?
Honestly, make sure this is something you want to do, not something you feel you need to do to survive. So it was a friend of mine, he once told me, we were dealing with an incident. We saw somebody fall off of a motorcycle on the freeway.
Oh,
And I got out, we got out. I helped the man. I did everything I could do till the paramedics came. And he said, a lot of people don't understand, but nursing is not on you, it's in you.
mm,
He said, it's truly in you.
absolutely.
And it stopped me for a minute. I had to think about it like, yeah, I'm passionate about nursing. I'm passionate about what I do. It bothers me when I see someone taking it lightly.
Right. It's definitely your calling, and I commend you for not just sticking in the 9 to 5 job and choosing to create the company. I want you to know your sis Nadia was in the chat giving you your shout out. So I know you just mentioned her. I think that it is so important that we have people like you and who are willing to lead and serve and step outside of their comfort zone and really build something beautiful. And so we thank you for blessing the platform today. Your journey is such a testament to the power of purpose and care and community leadership. And before we close for today, do you have any closing words for our viewers? Any maybe affirmations, pieces of advice, expressions of gratitude, anything that anyone can carry with them as they leave us today?
You have to do better at taking care of one another, uplifting each other, motivating each other, caring for each other, paying attention to each other, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In this health, the field that I'm in, Pay attention to your body. Your body lets you know something is going on. But sometimes we get so focused on the world and the bills and everything else, we don't pay attention. Listen to your body. Treat your body as the temple that it is created to be.
That's
And
beautiful.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been supporting me, pushing me, motivating me, not giving up on me. And I really want to give a special shout out to my best friend Monique and my sister Nadia. Every morning we get up and pray together, and you guys help me start my day on the best foot with God and showing me how to continue to put God first. And I know as we do that, it's going to take us far. So
I
thank
think
you.
I love it.
And
I think
thank
of
you,
Auntie
Jennifer,
Shirley.
for all you've
Oh,
done.
of course, it's my honor and privilege. And I think of Auntie Shirley, who got up every morning and got on her different prayer calls. And, it is a testimony to our family and the faith and the believers. And so, um, I love it. So I appreciate you for being here. And to our viewing audience, if y'all know anyone who's in need of compassionate caregiving, or you're looking for you're a clinician and you're looking to work with a company that values dignity and integrity, connect with Glorified Hands Industries. I'm dropping in the chat the link where you can find LaTisha's listing on our Black on the Platform National Business Directory. Check out her book, Clinical Confidence. It is a game changer. And of course, we appreciate you, LaTisha. We thank you for joining us today. And now I'm going to let you head out as I begin my little outro. Um, and and let's see if I could do this right. Okay, I did. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a powerful story. I'm Jen S., your concierge of connection. And I'm really touched today. So if I sound like it in my voice, I'm just moved and inspired by the work my cousin has done and is doing. But I'm Jen S., your concierge of connection, reminding you visibility creates opportunity, and we're here to help you shine. And until next time, you can say it with me: stay bold, stay Black, and always stay building. Thank you for joining us today. Everyone, take care.